back on the red dot after 2 years because I did 2 TED Talks during COVID, online, and it didn't feel as great as this. So thank you very much for having me at TEDxIIMRanchi. It's a dream come true to come to an IIM and speak. I was telling somebody backstage that I'm not even a graduate, but I have got this opportunity to stand on this red dot, so I can only thank one person for that, and that is God above. Nobody else, because I don't deserve it, but I'm here. All right, so, thank you. Beautiful topic chosen, concerning through chaos. We are living in a world and a life which is full of chaos, and, everybody's trying to make sense out of it. And I want to just, change the lens. When you go to a spectacle shop, an ophthalmologist, he does this, dikha. So he changes the lens, right? So I'm going to change your lens for a minute, and I'm going to show you a quick video of how our life is. So introducing to you a life of a chef. The video. Now, if you see, in this video, the man without a hat is actually the main guy. He's the head chef. Just for perspective. So he doesn't wear a hat because he wants to be distinguished. But he actually gets distinguished after a period of time. And there are also people in that video who have no idea what's happening, but they're there, right? They're trying to just be, doing and finding something out. But this is a very small kitchen, probably serving 60 seats a night. But there are kitchens which are also serving 30,000 meals in or during a meal period. So you can imagine the amount of chaos that happens there. Now, out of that comes this. So food's become very Instagrammable these days, and everybody's taking pictures before you eat it, and it's all looking beautiful. But it all comes from the chaos you saw in that video. So why I'm showing you these two pictures is because as a chef, we live a life which is chaotic. And we have a very beautiful term, and I've got a special t-shirt reveal. Can everybody read it? Has anybody heard this term before? Okay, bhasad. Okay, so life for us is bhasad. And out of bhasad, means chaos, comes beautiful dishes, comes, things that, people say, wow, how did you make this? But actually our minds are so filled with everything around us, but we're still able to think. And as a growing chef, I always thought, and I looked up to my chef and said, how is this man doing this? How is this possible? How can he even think like this? There's so much of chaos around him. And that's why I use the example of some of the boys and girls you saw in that video, had no idea what's happening, but they're just doing the do. So for a while, we just do the do. And then we grow up, and then we grow up, and then the whole concert starts to happen in our mind. Alright? Now, how does that work? So life of a chef, as I said, a chef life, hashtag chef life is equal to bhasad, is equal to chaos. Why? Because we work typically 14 to 16 hours a day. Our life is not easy and glamorous as it looks. These feet have got varicose veins embedded in them because I've been standing for years, not just a few years, but years, just because we have to make things happen. Out of that, we create almost 120 new dishes every year. That might sound a small number, but takes a lot of time, grit, effort to make that. We serve around 300 to 30,000 meals a day. Sometimes, if I'm working on a cruise liner, then that's the number of people I will be serving. And as a chef, I would be managing a fleet of more than 12 to 300 people. And that's a large number for one person to handle. And my life is just chaos, 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 chaos. So how do I deal with that? How do I make that chaos into a concerted chaos? How do I make that beautiful? How do I make that creative? So I'm going to talk about my life, my journey, through some of the instances that I've gone through, and that may make sense to all of you. So first of all, I want to take a picture, not very religious, but I believe in the Bible. So there's a picture of this man sleeping in a boat where there's a storm coming. And all his disciples, so remember Jesus sleeping in the boat, and all his disciples are rattled. They're like, how can you sleep? There is a storm coming. And he just wakes up and says, oh, you people of little faith, what's wrong with you? So that's what my chef will tell me. Why are you getting rattled by seeing 300 people in front of you? Just get on to it. Just get on it. So that's faith. You can do it. Come on, let's do it. So I think that's where the starting point is, because a chef actually works best under pressure. Now, why I'm using a chef example, not because I'm a chef here, but also because a chef actually sees life from a very different lens. When you're physically tired, when you're mentally tired, but you're still supposed to perform, there are only two professions in this whole wide world which operate like that. One is us, the other one is the man on the borderline. He's the guy who's working under immense pressure, but he's got to deliver. If he's got to shoot, he's got to shoot, he's got to do the thing. And that's what for us is. Because if you go to a restaurant and you're waiting for your dish for 30 minutes, you're not going to be, can I get my dish? It's been 30 minutes. You're going to be furious. If I give you a gun, you probably shoot him. Right? But that's how the emotions we have to deal with. We are dealing emotions inside and outside. Right? So that's the life of a chef. But taking you back to Christmas Eve 2006. I reported to work at 9 a.m. and we were working throughout the day. It was a busy day. I was working for this coffee shop called Lotus Cafe in Mumbai. And at 1 a.m. I take off my apron and I say, okay, done for the day. And my junior sous chef comes in, he's taking a handover from me, and I got 2 coffees, and I said, okay, this is chat 5 minutes before I go. We've not even finished the coffee, and there is this KOT printer, this print. Going back again and again and again. And before we realized, I said, okay, you jump to the range, I'm back on the station, I'm reading the KOTs, I'm concerting that chaos, I'm that chef without the hat, and I'm trying to do everything. And the next time we see the watch, it's 4:30 in the morning. Right? At 4:30, my boss comes in. Hey, you still here? Not going to sleep? Okay, why don't you go and come back by 7:30? I said, wow, thank you very much. That's gracious of you. 2 hours of sleep, but then we came back, and that day, including both 2 days, 24th and 25th, that coffee shop made 14 lakh rupees in a night. And that happened without a single complaint, which means every single guest who came, paid, went back without a grudge. Now that is something to think about. How will ever that happen? How does that happen? How does that chaos become a concert, a celebration? People call us celebrity chef today. And I correct people. I said, don't call me a celebrity chef. I'm a chef. It's the food which gets celebrated. So it's about celebrating that whole journey of how we are tackling those situations. But that's not the main point. The main point is, it's coming out when we look at this picture. How does a chaos work into productivity? So generally people work like a funnel with outside into in. So they take a lot, it goes inside and we start operating. But in our case it has to be reversed. We have to look at the funnel in an opposite way. Which means if we are in the chaos, we have to step back, we have to step out, take stock, understand where we are, understand what is left. I've only got 2 portions of prawn. Hey, 2 portions of prawn left, that's it, finished. So we have to do all of that to make that concert still going. Otherwise it will become chaotic. Suddenly there's an order of 10 portions of prawns, I only have 2. Then you're going to go and get garlic from the customer. So that's not what you want. So we look at the funnel outside in. So whenever I'm in chaos, everybody will stay in the chaos, see what is happening, but we will have to step back. When you see from here, you're able to see so much clearly. Somebody told me that if you have to understand what's happening in your regime, go climb the mountain. I'm going to share that mountain story beautifully, which impacted my life, in such a great manner. Now, why I'm sharing this? Because all of you guys are going to be future leaders tomorrow. You're going to be running companies. You're going to be CEOs, CFOs, and I don't know what all. But the whole world is waiting for you. Let me first of all say this: the whole world is waiting for you. I am Ranchiites. They're waiting for you to come and give that new brainwave, that new idea, that new technology, that new something. So can you all give yourself a round of applause? You're doing a great job. Sitting on that seat with that t-shirt is not easy. I passed out a college called OCLD, Over Center of Learning Development. Only 15 people get there. I'm not even a graduate, but I got through that postgraduate program. Alright? Forget the nitty-gritties. But this is the same thing. To get inside is difficult, but to pass that course in 2 years is much more difficult. So I understand what you're going through, what's going on in your mind, how much of pressure is there, but hold on, the world is waiting for you. And that's why I want to take you through this leadership journey, which has been my journey. And if you see, there are 3 pictures here. The first picture shows of a leader who's leading his team, who's been given a title, says, hey, general manager of this hotel, right? He's walking with a stick and everybody's following him. Why? Because he's got the title, right? People are supposed to follow him. But then what happens after some time? People get weary and tired and they start giving galis to your general manager. Why does that happen? Because the general manager is just walking in that thick forest. Imagine this last picture. You're in slopes and mountains and ranges, right? And you're walking. You are bound to forget where you are. You're bound to lose your sense of direction. It is for sure. It is human. What does a great leader do? He climbs up the mountain. He sees what's coming ahead. There are animals there. There is a way ahead. Let's move there. Hold on. Some leaders actually stand at the mountain and enjoy the mountain breeze and say, hey, go left. Huh? What? Can't hear. They start doing their own thing. Okay? In a way, that's happening to our country. We have chaos in our country because we can't hear the leadership clearly. Right? And I'm saying this out of a lot of grit. Please don't hold me against it, but I'm saying this because I don't see that clarity in our leaders. Somebody says this, somebody says that. But if I am working for an organization where I can't hear the leader's voice clearly, I have no direction. So as a leader, I must go up the mountain, but also come down and start working with my team and say, hey, this is where we need to go. After a while, I will lose sight again. I'll have to go up again. That's the hard work. That's the hard journey. Today's day and age, people don't understand hard work. They say, no, I want it now, I want it quick. Insta. But Insta also needs hard work. And that hard work means that you're going up the mountain, seeing what's coming ahead of you, and then coming back and then guiding your team and taking ahead. And then any mountain comes your way, you're going to take that challenge and say, come, let's bring it on. We'll do it. But this is very important. Whenever you are in a situation where you're stuck, you can't think, you can't imagine, you can't create, take 2 steps back. Funnel out, otherwise chicken out. Because you will be counted like those chickens who came out of IIM or IIT or OCLD or wherever, because you didn't take a stance and understanding of how and where you want to go. Now, there are thousands of life examples that I could possibly throw at you, but I don't want to sound very braggish in saying this is what I did. But I think every industry today demands of people, who are not just great thinkers. It demands of people who are great thinkers, as well as great doers, as well as great seekers. Because if you don't seek, you don't find. If you don't seek more knowledge, you will not find more knowledge. You will not grow yourself. I've heard of people going and learning new courses even at the age of 55. So that's seeking, right? So those kind of leaders is what I want to be. That's where I want to tell my team, hey, let's go this way. And I think that's where, very humbly, we've grown. We've opened 35 restaurants in the last 4.5 years. I used to be a hotel chef for 25 years. I operated restaurants for somebody, but in the last 4 years, we've opened 35 restaurants because I told myself, I'm going to work every day. If at all I'm going to a building or I'm going to Ranchi, we're going to be opening a restaurant in Rourkela very recently, very close to you guys. So it's it's going to be, you can take a train and come to Rourkela and visit the restaurant. So that's what we do for a living. I think that's exactly what I wanted to just pass across, that chaos is around you, chaos is everywhere, but how do you become the symphony manager? How do you become the orchestrator and say, okay, this is how chaos will be concentrated, because I am not just in charge, but I am in control. Thank you very much.